Let's talk about why we're here in the first place. What was the impetus that brought us here today? It was Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Go to your Instagram page, and then I see a video of you sitting on a bed, and you're singing, lying, cheating, hurting, it's all you seem to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? Like, he's got a new song or something? So, okay, it's a Led Zeppelin song. So I leave the video, but the video doesn't leave me. This is a guy who's in love with music and wants to sit and play this Led Zeppelin song, and he's not too cool to just make a video of himself doing that.
Music to me is just, it's art. It's an expression of life. Like when I was a kid, there was a guitar around my father played, and I would just go, you know. And I felt something. And then when I saw Elvis and the Beatles, Ted Nugent and stuff, and then later Led Zeppelin, the whole improvisation of taking what you have as a conclusion and doing it live, it's the safest place for me to be honest.
Whose music are you currently really turned on by? And do you still listen to Led Zeppelin, and what are some of the...
Oh yeah, I listen to the old, the new, and the future, you know. Very into dubstep and trap music, electronic music. From 2010 to now, I've done this band, Lance Herbstrong. We have 3 albums out. We just finished our 4th record. And it's just 2 DJs mashing up music and me making music over that.
K38, I don't believe there's anything available. That was your high school band, right?
Yeah, I talked to my high school drummer, and he has a ton of recordings that we did. So he's going to release K38 either this year or next year. So he's going to put it all out, and it's my high school band. I'm an Italian kid whose parents came here as immigrants, and I was born and raised in Santa Monica, where we're at right now, and as a surfer.
What guitar synth are you using on Rambient?
Oh yeah, it was a I think GR30, and I used it when I played with Peter Murphy. I did 2 tours with him and an album. I was Scott Weiland's guitar player after Porno.
So that's on 12 Bar Blues, right?
Yeah, and live. It was great because I had first gotten sober, and he was first getting sober, and we were together helping each other with my bass player from Porno For Pyros, Martine.
Right.
So we were all together, and I loved Daniel Lenoir. He was hilarious, and we had fun together, and it was fun being dual guitar players together, and we laughed a lot and stuff like that. And then he got arrested, you know, and when you get arrested, you get in trouble and you can't play. I don't judge people using them. I'm not for them or against them or anything. It's just if you want to do illegal drugs, there's a chance you can get popped. Just like being a race car driver, there's a chance you can overdose and crash, you know. Same with a big wave surfer. If you're going to surf, you can drown and hit your head. And so I had drowned many of times. I've overdosed many times all over the world. I just kept getting found and revived. So I was no better than, I probably overdosed more times than most people in the business that have passed. And so I feel like I have a purpose. And right here, right now with you, this was supposed to be filmed. July 24th, I'll have 23 years sober.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, so we can talk about drugs and all that stuff, sure, because there is a solution if you want to get well. I was sponsoring Chester Bennington. And then when we were going to do an inventory thing, he goes, I don't want to do it. And plus he wanted to still smoke weed. And then I went and hanged out and jammed with Chris Cornell, you know. And so when I heard of both of them taking their lives when they had all the money and fame and everything, and children and all this wonderful stuff, I really wanted to find out more ways to deal with addiction. So I became a certified recovery coach, and I help people to try to control and enjoy their drinking or drug using or whatever. And I have 8 different models of treatment. Then there's my way, which is when you're a stage 4 alcoholic drug addict, the only way that works, that I found for me, is a 12-step program, total abstinence. I tried to drink red wine with pasta with my father, and I would just end up homeless with a needle in my arm. So there's just certain people that, they're like men that have lost their legs, they're done, you know, they can't walk anymore. I'll help anyone if they reach out for free, and it just helps me pay it back to the Holy Spirit that keeps me sober. I feel I'm getting better at being real without an instrument. I'm 55 years old, and I like my age. I don't try to hide my age by bleaching my teeth or my hair. You know, I got miles on me, man. I've been through some stuff, you know. Right. So I want it to show. I didn't get an easy break. I earned it. You I put whiskey on my fingers, meaning that I played bars non-stop before Perry and Steven picked me as the guitar player for Porno, so it wasn't like I was just in my bedroom and then
Did that completely change your world when you joined Porno For Pyros?
Yes. It enabled me to do heroin and cocaine the way I wanted to and not have to work and get a Maserati and move right to it. You know, any money that Warner Brothers gave me, I just used it to take advantage. You know, I feel like I took advantage of my band and Warner Brothers and stuff like that, so I could properly do drugs and alcohol and the way I wanted to, and to be left alone to just have as much free time as possible to do sex, drugs, and write rock and roll.
And not get kicked out of the studio for it.
Yeah, well, that's another story. But
When you listen back to the first Porno For Pyros record, what is it like for you now? Do you listen back to it?
I do, I'll hear it. Well, to me, it's just, there was the same thing that's happening now without the virus, with the racial tension and the riots and everything. So instead of like protesting with songs and trying to get people to move and do things, I was like, let's do it ourselves. So we hit the streets and we did the looting and the pyro and the bad stuff ourselves to try to make change, you know? And we felt like we made change. The first record was written and recorded in 2 weeks.
Wow.
There was nothing, and we wrote it, recorded it, went in the studio. Most of it was live, one take, maybe a couple of overdubs, and it was done. And then the rest of the time was mixing it. But there was an energy, and that's when heroin and crack and needles and all that stuff was working. It worked for us at the time because of what it was. It was fires and chaos and craziness, and just it just worked, you know?
Where's that photo taken from the artwork?
We were on the beach in Venice or Marina Del Rey, and we had sparklers, like fireworks, and there was someone on his back taking pictures of us, and we were, I don't know, on acid or something, just tripping, and did a photo shoot.
And who chose Matt Hyde to do like the production and the mixing?
That was Perry. The way Matt produced it with Perry, they did such a great job with the tone, where everything was so hi-fi and bass driven, you know, with grunge and everything. They took up so much sonic space that the fact that it was mixed with a more Stooges, more cutting, brittle, it doesn't place it in a genre, in a time, like grunge music. Oh, that's grunge music. Porno For Pyros is timeless because Matt helped us to get that tone. You know, he took what the tone of my guitar was and didn't mess with it.
By the way, guitar player question, what wah-wah did you use and what was the guitar amp combo?
I had a Marshall JCM 800, a 1978 I think it was, and I had a 1968 Color Sound wah-wah, and then I had the Music Man head and a JCM 800 coming out the JCM 800 into the Music Man, for the Music Man to give me more tone with the other two stacks, and then the JCM 800 just in a half stack. So I had a half stack and 2 cabinets. So there was 12 12-inch speakers.
So what was the guitar?
I used a Fender Strat with a humbucker on it and a Floyd Rose, so I could, you know, the Eddie Van Halen thing. I was really into Eddie Van Halen technique and the locking tremolo whammy stuff. And then I used a 1969 or 68 Les Paul, a Fender 12-string acoustic, an Ibanez double neck 12-string 6-string for Pets, and a song called Sadness, and then a nylon string guitar.
That record sounds so different, and like the drums are really dark. It's completely and totally experimental in a lot of senses that the first one just isn't.
It took 2 years and 6 months as opposed to 2 weeks.
Ah.
That's the difference. We lived, we traveled, we captured experiences. It wasn't a couple of weeks of living captured in 11 songs, you know, or Pete's with a black girl, we're gonna write black girl. Pete did this, and Pete's gun into 25. You know, we just wrote everything in that time, and it was one sound because it was, you know, that. Where we would record a song and then go record a song here and then go in Bali and record there, and you know, we basically recorded the record in Malibu, but we wrote it in different parts of the world. The song Bali Eyes was written in Bali, but we recorded everything in Malibu. I was in my bed and they put mics around me, and I was laying in bed. But the only reason Porno For Pyros stopped is because I was such a bad junkie, and then my cancer and everything, I needed to go save my life. And so they continued as Jane's Addiction. We're all really close. We've played over the years and talk and stuff like that.
Do you watch the Woodstock 94 performance at all?
I have watched portions of it. People will oh, this song's so great, that song's so great. You know, I'm extremely proud. I thought we tore down and we were the real deal.
What was the choice to open with New Rising Sun?
We just wanted to honor Hendrix because he had done Woodstock, and we were like doing the same festival that Hendrix headlined. It was the Allman Brothers, then Porno For Pyros, then Bob Dylan after us. It was an honor to play between Dylan and the Allman Brothers. You know, still a huge fan of them. There was this, God bless his soul, his name was John Trickett. He started a record label called Emergent Records. He gave me a few record deals. One of them was with Harry Gregson Williams and myself, and we called it like ambient Rambient. Harry and I brought in Peter Murphy, Flea, Neo Hatari, and then after that record, I became a session guitar player for Harry's movies, and he became a huge movie composer, and he still is one of the top. Pets, the song Pets, our biggest hit. Very, very like, it's very like happy. And then Perry's like a child, children are innocent. And it's very, very, but when I wrote the song, 8 years or more before I met Perry, it was different, the music. It went like this. And it was a song written for a girl that I was in love with. I was in the 7th grade, okay, at Lincoln Junior High School in Santa Monica, and she was in my cooking class. Still, when I think about her, the love that I feel, you call it puppy love or whatever, but it was just, my heart feels, my stomach drops. I don't think I've ever shared this. Her name was Brianna Dean. Brianna Dean. One day at cooking class, and we both liked each other, and we were, she's going to be my girlfriend, and I'm in 7th grade, I'm going to have a girlfriend. I just left elementary school and I'm going into junior high, and the love that I felt, and it just being in love, it was purely innocent. And then one day she didn't show up in cooking class. The teacher was nervous and everything, and then the next day we heard in the news in Santa Monica, nothing happened in Santa Monica, especially north of Montana, north Santa Monica. She had been murdered. They were like a Charles Manson type couple. They were robbing the house, and her brother came in, and they tied them up, raped them, and cut them up in pieces. And the parents came home to find their 2 only children in pieces, cut up. So it was traumatizing. Like, we didn't talk about it. We tried to bury it. It was in the news. And so the song, it comes from a very dark place. So when I was playing that, I was sitting there, I was doing that riff, Perry goes, pick it up. So I went. And then he wrote lyrics to it, and I never told the band or anybody where it came from. So I feel like the reason it went #1 and it was my biggest hit, it was Brianna's ghost coming and giving me success. I still love her and will love her to death till the end. It's real. It's a heavy song. So when people go, oh, you're playing that Pet Your hit, it's just so goofy. To me, it's heavy. Then I take a portion of it at the end when I go, I'm thinking of her. It's heavy. I don't even think Perry knows. He'll probably find out on this interview where it came from.
Starry Eyes.
Oh.
Why is that the main song that gets referenced when you look you up? What do you mention?
Because Colby Collet sang it with me,
okay.
And she's a very famous pop singer now. I was producing music with her father. He had her in the studio. I was like, will you come in and sing with me on this? And she was really scared. And I go, just do it. And we put her in the booth. And then that's when Michael Blue discovered that she could sing. And he worked with her from 14 till she was 18, and they made Bubbly and that. It's sort of underground known that she sang on it. Well, now it's on this interview. So many things are coming out in this interview.
Do you know the song I Need? It's one of yours. It's from
one
Loyalty.
Of mine. Sorry,
yeah.
I don't.
There's like a refrain where you're saying, thank you, Ron. Thank you, Bobby. I just want to find out, who are Ron and Bobby? Thank you, Munsky.
My drug dealers.
Oh.
I Need is a song about I need to score. I need it. And those, I'm thanking them for being there to give me my heroin.
Okay.
Wow, that's heavy. I need to hear that song.
Is Pete's dad about your dad?
It was about my dad having cancer and then getting told that he was in remission.
Okay.
So, and we found out on Christmas time. Perry was having Christmas with my family, and the doctor called, and it eventually came back, and he passed from it. But at that time, it was great. It was like he's not going to be going away quickly. We got much more time with him. Same with Good God's Urge, the title of the second record. That song is about my father.
On that single, Sadness single, it had Pete's dad on it. That's how I found out about it back in CD analog era technology days. It also had a little Sadness.
It was just an acoustic version of Sadness.
But why did it get a music video? Like, that music video cost money. Like, how did somebody decide to push that song?
Because Perry loved our acoustic island trips, surf trips, and you know, we'd be hanging out with the natives, and instead of going, you know, I got the devil, we'd go. More jazzy, you know, more acoustic, you know, and Perry wanted, you know, a different feel.
Where is that video filmed at?
I remember going on a set, and there was balloons, and the manager at our time, his name was Paul V, co-managing with my friend Roger Leonard. He had the idea for the video and the balloons, and you know, and we just went with it and had fun.
When's the last time you watched that video?
I don't think I've ever watched it.
Never?
Never. Now, I'll go watch it now.
How come? I'm just curious.
Because I didn't know where to find it. I guess now it's on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Like you had to watch MTV and it wasn't popular or something. Maybe
they didn't say here's your VHS copy of the music video.
I was so into heroin and crack that I didn't. It was just okay. I'll show up and I'll do this, but now let me go do what I wanted. You know, like I didn't care. I've never seen the video, but I'd like to. Am I in it?
Yeah, you're
okay.
In it. You're a speed band. You're pretty fast, very fast guitar player. You can shred. Did you work up to the speed by doing something specific?
I have a thing where my hands shake. It's called familiar tremors. I'm much more challenged than the average person. So I have to leave my body to get my fingers to stop shaking. But the shaking's great because I can do these, you know, on the electric guitar, really fast stuff. And I don't have to warm up to go fast. But for finesse and finger picking, it's a challenge. But poor Carpenter blames his tools. I just got to work harder. There's conclusions in improvisation. And when I started in Porno For Pyros, I was all improvisation. And Perry taught me you need conclusions in your solos. I always left my solos open because the conclusion was the song. G, D, C, we're singing this song, and here's where I want to let go and express myself. Well, he was like, you know, you need some conclusions on a couple of the songs. So Pets, I had a conclusion for the solo, which was, you know, with the wah-wah for the solo. And then the second solo was, so I wrote those solos, but usually what I would have done is this, you will make great pets. I would have gone. That would have been a solo, and that wasn't planned. That was, to me, it's much more interesting and much more emotional and much more magical. I'm down for both, but I love improvisation because it's now. If you're having a hard time, be honest with an instrument. It's safe.